Hey guys, Brian O'Day. I'm the executive director of the Praetorian Project, and I am joined today with Jen Huntley. Jen, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks for taking the time for us to talk together.
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to introduce you guys to Jen. Jen is usually behind the scenes, and what she has said is she prefers to be behind the scenes, but I wanted to make sure you guys knew who she was. So, Jen, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I live outside of Washington, D.C. in Alexandria with my husband, Jared. He's one of the planters and pastors of Pillar Church of Washington, D.C. So we moved here in 2019 and helped launch basically a second or maybe third iteration of Pillar DC that is still going strong right now, which we love. We love to be here. Previously, before that, we had planted outside of Toronto, Canada, a church plant there, and worked on that for about 4 years. And that was basically the first thing we did in ministry together after we got married. So church planting is our life. I'm very passionate about it and love to just see the gospel made known in the places that we've been. So that's a little bit about me in terms of that side of things. I'm also just a communications kind of person, video editing, social media, graphic design, just creativity and technology coming together is kind of my wheelhouse. So that's what I love to do. And yeah, that's me.
Great. That's awesome. And so you first got connected with the Praetorian Project when your husband was started conversations to move from your church plant in Canada to move to DC. So yeah, you guys have been involved in church planting in really difficult places. So in Canada and then in the district. So very exciting. So what's your current role with the Praetorian Project?
Right now, I am the communications director for the Praetorian Project. So when people get emails, when people see what's going on Facebook, when there's a new flyer or graphic, I'm there for all of those things. I'm also can just be a help with all the Praetorian Project churches with things that we all have in common with logos and websites and things that people might need help with. So I'm happy to do all those things and to support what's going on since we are a Praetorian Project church, the one that I'm a part of. And my husband is a veteran as well. So we just have that heart and passion to want to see military folks who are moving around all the time to have that ability to have a healthy church home, to have discipleship, strong connections right away, even if they have to move all over the place. So we're really happy to be a part of that. And I'm happy to see the big picture network wide and help that story be told.
Yeah, that's great. Help the story be told. You do a great job at it. One of the reasons I wanted to introduce you to everybody was I get compliments for what you're doing, and they're like, Brian, what a great story you just wrote up about the Clements or about the Groves or the Browns or something. I'm like, yeah, I actually didn't write that. Jen did. Or wow, this is a great graphic or whatever the case is. And so you're behind all of those things. One of these days we'll figure out what I do, but you help to tell the story of the Praetorian Project, which is really cool. And it's been a huge blessing to our family of churches, and very thankful to have you. I did want to share. So you were gone. You started as communications director in the spring, late winter, early spring this past year. But then you kind of disappeared for a couple months this summer. What were you guys up to this summer?
This summer, we were traveling to Hungary to adopt our 3 children. Joshua, who's 8, Joanna, who's 5, and Caleb, who is 3. So they are Hungarian born, and we're in the foster care system there. And through our amazing adoption agency, Lifeline, we were referred to them, and we said yes back last winter. So this summer, we were finally able to go and travel because, of course, the pandemic made everything very difficult, unfortunately. but we were just really happy to be there. It was definitely the hardest month and a half of our life to live in a foreign country with just this new thing going on for our family, new for them, new for us. But just by God's grace, we've seen so much growth in them and in ourselves. So we've been home now for a little over 4 months. And yeah, it's just a lot of loving on our kids, helping them learn English, and working on being a family. So we're really happy to be able to do that.
That's great. I'm so thankful that you're learning how to juggle both of your responsibilities as mom and wife, but also serving the Praetorian Project as communications director. It's really exciting. And this is adoption is a huge undercurrent that happens in so many of our churches. I've not ever sat down to try to figure out how many of our pastors, planters, members of our churches have adopted or are fostering or something in that realm, but it's a lot. And so I'm just so excited that this is just one of the undertones that we see kind of all throughout the project, and just very exciting for you and Jared to walk through that. I know it's a challenge. You rolled through that very quickly. 3 kids, young in age. You didn't mention that their grasp of the English language is growing, and your grasp of Hungarian is not growing. And so, really challenging times. But Jen, so excited to have you as a part of the family, and very excited to get an update, and hopefully people know a little bit more about who you are and what you do as a part of the family.
Yeah, and I wanted to mention too that if people have stories of how the Praetorian Project has impacted their life, I love to hear them. That's part of one of the privileges of the position that I have right now, is that I do get to hear a lot of those stories, and it really encourages me, and I want to be able to encourage others also. So just testimonies of what Pillar Church of whatever city you're from or in right now, and what you've experienced or seen there. We definitely want to share what God is doing throughout the network. So feel free to reach out to me, and I'm happy to share it with many others. So.
Excellent. Sounds good. So Jen's email is in the paragraph right above this video. So if you want to reach out to Jen, please feel free to do so. Share stories. That's what she loves doing, is telling the stories across the Praetorian Project. Thanks a lot, Jen. And thank you, everybody, for listening and for your interest in the Praetorian Project. I love you guys.